What happens when humans stop wandering and start building cities? When people settle, grow food, and claim land, survival changes, and so does conflict. This is the moment war transforms from scattered tribal clashes into organized, planned, and political warfare. Please like, share, and subscribe. Imagine standing on a city wall for the first time in human history. Below you, fields of grain. Behind you, families, homes, temples. Ahead of you, another city watching, waiting. This is no longer a raid in the night. This is war with intention. For the first time, humans are not just fighting to live, they are fighting to control. Welcome to the age of ancient civilizations, where war becomes a tool of power, belief, and empire. The agricultural revolution changes everything. Around 10,000 years ago, humans made a decision that changed history forever. They stayed, they planted crops, they domesticated animals, they built permanent settlements. Food surplus meant population growth. Population growth meant cities. Cities meant borders. And borders meant conflict. In Sumerian lands between the Tigris and Euphrates, some of the first cities, Uruk, Ur, Lagash, rose from the earth. With them came something new: organized armies. War enters the city. Cities required protection. Walls were built, gates were guarded, weapons were stored. The first soldiers were farmers who trained when not planting crops. Over time, they became specialists. War was no longer spontaneous. It was planned. Clay tablets from Mesopotamia describe troop movements, supplies, and victories. War had entered written history. In Akkadian, war was tahazu. In ancient Egyptian, it was tied to divine order. Different cultures, same evolution. Mesopotamia, the first battlefields. The fertile land of Mesopotamia was rich but limited. Cities fought over irrigation canals, trade routes, farmland. One of the earliest recorded wars occurred between Lagash and Umma around 2500 BCE. This war wasn't just violence, it was administration. Kings issued commands. Soldiers followed formations. Victory was carved into stone. The stele of the vultures shows fallen enemies, organized troops, and leadership hierarchy. War now had structure. Kings become generals. In early civilizations, rulers were not distant politicians. They were warriors. To rule meant to defend. To defend meant to fight. Kings led armies personally. Their legitimacy depended on victory. In many languages, leadership and war became linked. Latin, imperator; Arabic, qaid, quaid; Chinese, jiang. Power and warfare were inseparable. Egypt, war as divine duty. Along the Nile, Egypt developed a different approach. The land was protected by deserts and seas, but when threatened, Egypt responded with force and belief. Pharaohs were considered gods. War was seen as restoring cosmic order, ma'at. Battles were carved into temple walls, showing pharaohs towering over enemies. Chariots revolutionized Egyptian warfare. Archers fired from moving platforms. Speed became a weapon. Victory wasn't just political, it was sacred. The weapons evolve. Ancient warfare brought innovation. Bronze weapons replaced stone. Shields became standardized. Spears, swords, bows, and chariots dominated. Metal changed war forever. Those with access to bronze controlled the battlefield. Trade routes became strategic assets. War was now tied to economics. In Mandarin, jishu. Technology. In Greek, tauechinu ita techne. The tools of war shaped civilization itself. Strategy is born. War was no longer just strength, it was thinking. Commanders studied terrain. Timing mattered. Supply lines became critical. Defending cities required planning. Walls, moats, watchtowers, attacking required patience. Sieges, blockades. Psychological pressure. War became mental. Beyond Mesopotamia and Egypt, across the world, similar patterns emerged. Indus Valley cities fortified themselves. Early Chinese states fought along river systems. Mesoamerican civilizations built warrior cultures, different beliefs, different gods, same reality. Human societies were now large enough that war shaped identity itself. War creates states, states create war. Ancient warfare created bureaucracy. Armies required food weapons organization records. This led to taxation administration. Central authority. War didn't just defend civilization, it built it. The cost. For civilians, ancient war meant forced labor, displacement, enslavement, destruction of crops. Victory came at a human price. Yet societies continued because survival demanded strength. Closing reflection. By the time the ancient world flourished, war had become permanent. Not constant, but always possible. The age of cities had turned conflict into a system, and the foundation was set for empires.